Hey everybody, Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. Good evening to you. Good to see you again. God bless every single one of y'all. Hope y'all having a great day today. It is nice after the fact, but I hope nobody does have power outages. I want to explain this to you what's going on with this right here because this is very serious and I can tell you exactly what's going on with these tornadoes that we're going to be having. I will get to that in just a minute. However, if you've never been here before, I upload every day. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you get notified of all the notifications. Now, let me get into this forecast. I want to try and make it as quick as possible. And before I forget, let me get up my stopwatch so I can stop myself when I get too long, because I don't want to be too long where it's too long of a video. But let's get into it. First, let's talk about the freezing rain accumulation. This is going to be accumulation from the Euro. I will show you some perimeters from the GFS as well. But pretty much on the New Year's Eve tomorrow, it's going to start in Texas. It's going to start off with some pretty good ice accumulations. Then it's going to move up through Oklahoma on the first, and it's going to affect Kansas and Missouri in such a really big way. And it has updated. This is over an inch of accumulated ice that is expected for mostly eastern Kansas, but Missouri is still getting some very heavy amounts. Now, as you go into the evening of the first into the second, is when the ice is expected to move all across the Midwest to Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, as well as getting in on this ice, and so is New York and some of the other New England states. We'll get into a little more defined area so you can see what it does look like. Now, this is on New Year's Eve. This is in 24 hours, literally, for you, Texas. Y'all gonna be starting off this storm, of course. You already been dealing with storms with it. But as it goes from New Year's Eve into the evening, and on the first, on the morning of the first and New Year's Eve, there will be ice. I will show you the snow in just a minute. And then it's going to move up to the north through Oklahoma, and that's about all the ice you're going to get from it, which is a good thing. It has gone down. It was going to be a significant freezing rain event, but it looks like it has molded down, so it looks like it's going to be more snow. And I will show you the difference because according to GFS, it is more eastern inside Texas, where Euro just takes it straight north, and they don't get it. So there's a chance for snowfall for some where the Euro don't show. Now, if you look through Missouri, this is 36 hours away. This is going into the first, the morning of the first, and you can see the accumulations of the ice that will be coming down, the freezing rain, and it starts getting heavier as the first goes along. And you see the heaviest amount so far is over an inch and is right on the Kansas Missouri border. Then, as it moves into the evening, it starts bringing the heavy ice accumulation, the freezing rain, into northern Missouri, and then it travels to the northeast and goes and bothers other states. Here's a better look at it so you can see it grow. This is from freezing rain, and you can see it accumulation from Kansas all the way to Missouri. And then as you go into the first and towards the second is when it starts bothering uh, other states like Illinois, Ohio, Michigan. They're going to be seeing some of this freezing rain as well. But the most so far is an inch and 35 in this purple right here. That is a significant amount. There's going to be some very great power outages I am expected and everything but the pink in this area. So y'all need to watch out. Hope y'all are prepared. Hopefully you got flashlights, batteries. Now here's your look from Ohio Valley. This is on the first New Year's Day and it starts moving in. It's about 42, 43 hours away. And you'll see that it starts accumulating over Illinois after it drops heavy freezing rain for Missouri and Kansas. And then as it gets into Friday into Saturday is when it really accumulates really high for the Northeast. I'll show you the Northeast in just a minute. But if you just look at northern Indiana, they're talking 73, and that's almost 8 to 9 tenths of an inch in that purple. Plus, it moves up in Michigan. You get some in Ohio, and you can see it all the way into Illinois as well. But it does add up to a good bit amount, y'all. By the time we get to the second and the third, I'm showing we're going to have heavy snowfall in the Northeast. We're going to have this heavy ice because it's not just New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. It's going to be the second and third as well. This storm is slowing down, I believe, and it is gaining some strength because I'm showing more snowfall on GFS for Indiana, where they wouldn't show any for Euro. So it all depends how things are looking. Let's take another look at from the Great Lakes. Here's another shot of you so you can get a wider view from Michigan, for Wisconsin. You can see everything that's going on. Plus, you see a little more of the Northeast because you do see that Pennsylvania and New York, as well as parts of Maryland and Virginia, do get in on this ice storm that will be happening. So it is going to be a heavy accumulation. I will update in the morning, of course, because you know these updates do change periodically. Here's a close look for you in the Northeast. This is in 48 hours. This is on the first. And as we go into the second, it's on the late night on the first, matter of fact, for Indiana and Ohio and lower Michigan. That's where your ice starts moving in. Late on New Year's Day, going into the second is when you're going to see it for the Northeast, for Pennsylvania, New York. You also going to see it for Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont. Everybody gets in on it, and there's going to be some heavy snowfall. So give me a minute. I am trying to move as quick as I can. I'm doing pretty good so far. Now, according to the GFS model, I'm gonna go through this. This is New Year's Eve. This is tomorrow, starting in Texas. So you can see the heavy snowfall. And what I want to do is I want to show you this with the difference of the two. The GFS shows that you get heavy snowfall not only for Texas and for Missouri and Kansas, but you also get it for the Northeast as well. And there will be a second low pressure system that will come in on the third. You can see it right here in the Northeast. I'll show you more about it. How it will drop heavier amounts of snow for the Northeast, which will get Pennsylvania even in more snow than what Euro is showing. Now, if you go to the Euro model and you see exactly what's going on with the snowfall, you can see it's still heavy amounts for Texas, but it moves a little further north and it's less snowfall for certain states. Let me bring it all the way up to the third. Now let me make a fact. I'm gonna show you the low pressure systems. Now the GFS shows that it meets up in a certain spot, but the Euro shows that these two low pressure systems meet up. They trade energy. It brings some of that Arctic air from Canada from one system. It transfers over to the other one, and it will bring more snowfall on the fourth and fifth for the New England states, and we're talking heavier amounts of snowfall. But if you just look, just in Texas alone, just from the Euro to the GFS, you can see how the GFS has it further to the east with heavier snowfall amounts for central Texas and a little more of north central of the panhandle. You see how that is? GFS brings it more to the east, and the Euro brings it more into Kansas. Now, if you go by exactly what's going on with Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, as well as Pennsylvania, the Euro is not showing that you're getting this snowfall, but the GFS is showing that you will have heavier amounts of snowfall. It's better than nothing, but it's 3 or 4 inches. But look at Pennsylvania. Look at New York. It's a lot heavier snowfall than you will be getting from the Euro. The GFS is showing way heavier snowfall because the GFS is taking a little more of a southern track than a northern track. Now let me get back to what I was showing you. We're still looking good. Let me go over the pressure systems and show you exactly what goes on. This is the first winter storm that went by. This is the one that they named Ivy. And then as the second one comes up from Texas, it shows that according to the Euro that it does move up to the north, to the northeast, and it starts getting strength in the northeast as far as potency. You see how it starts leaving, it gets a little bit stronger. But as you get a little further along, a low pressure system, another upper level low, meets up on the northeast, and it does create more rain, more snow for the northeast. And you see how it transfers from this low because this is spinning counterclockwise. So as it's transferring the cold air from here, and it's bringing the cold air in the northeast, giving it more snowfall. Now, if you go by the GFS, after the first storm passes by and you go to the second storm, you'll see that it actually shows that it meets up sooner than that one. And it shows the other one as well, but it shows that it will gain more strength than what the Euro is showing for the model. And then GFS is showing that the second system actually touches with the other upper level low that's in Canada, which is a tropical storm strength. It's 997, but they actually get together with this strength, and the Euro shows that it actually diminishes. So the GFS shows that it stays strong, and there will be more snowfall with the GFS. Now here's a look for the Northeast for your snowfall, so you see what you'll be getting. This is New Year's Eve. This is New Year's Day morning. This is that little swath y'all about to get now. On New Year's Day and into the second is when the snow starts to come in, and according to the Euro, this is the amounts that you'll be getting by the third because this is going to last all the way into the third, and then even going to go into the fourth and fifth when you get into that second system that is going to be rolling up the East Coast, which is going to add some more precipitation, some more snowfall, because the temperatures will be cold enough. But they're showing up to 26 inches, which is probably right here off in the water. But I wouldn't doubt if Maine wouldn't get 24, 25 inches as well. But that's 2 feet. That's a lot of snow. Now, if you go by the GFS for the Northeast, it still shows that you're going to get that swath of snow. Excuse me, still shows you're going to get that swath of snow in the Northeast. But as you go on New Year's Day, it starts dragging snow across the Ohio Valley. And then when you get into the second, you can see that Illinois already got into some snow. Indiana, lower Michigan, Northwest Ohio got into some snow. Pennsylvania, New York. I mean, everybody's getting to the snow according to the GFS is showing heavier amounts. And that's way better than nothing. That is some good snowfall right there. Plus, we have the second system that's going to be meeting from the Canada, bringing in that cold air. And then this is what you're going to get from the third to fourth, all the way up to the fifth from this system. That's a lot of heavy snowfall. It's not showing the 24, 25 inches crazy for Maine. It's showing it's more spread out. So there's going to be a possibility of some heavy snow for the New England states. That's something to kind of look forward to. It's been a minute since y'all had a good one. Y'all did have I believe, the first good one. We're still looking good on time. Now, for the Texas, this is your hourly as far as your snowfall going into New Year's Eve morning tomorrow. It'll start adding up all evening long. It'll get heavier and heavier amounts for you. And then on the first, on the New Year's Day, it's going to start tracking up to the north through Texas and start affecting the rest of the states as it comes through. So it will start heading north on the first. So New Year's Eve all day tomorrow, y'all are going to really be enjoying that snow. Now, according to the GFS, it shows that the heavier amounts is a little more northern into the east of where the Euro showed. The Euro showed it right by here where the 14 is, but it's showing it can get up to 21 a little further to north and east, which means it leaves a little sooner. That's why it shows it a little further east with the amounts and the totals. Now, let's go through this tornado not really an outbreak, but it is going to be a big deal. It was going to be an outbreak. It did downsize and downgrade for the southeast, but it did kind of stretch out in a way to where it really didn't downgrade. I'll show you what I mean. Now you can see how you got this. This is your cape, y'all. This is your potential energy. I did show you this in every single video. And as we go into tonight, it starts getting a little bit worse with the cape. They started getting up to 500. But as you see right here in Louisiana, throughout the day today, and started sparking just some 300s and 400s. And we actually had a couple tornado warnings already in northern Louisiana just off that. So all this Cape values that you're looking at is really bad. And the rough part is going to be overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, and then all day tomorrow is going to move towards Louisiana. And this is going to move a very tough part. And we're talking 750 up to 1500 for the big parts. But you'll see it move all the way across, and it's going to stretch way high with these amounts. These are very high Cape values. This is going to be some intense tornadoes that we're going to have for Louisiana and parts of Mississippi, mainly because of the heat that's coming off the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. That's just bringing dew points and moisture all into this thing. And I'll show you that in a minute as well. Let me get a little bit quicker. Now you can see exactly what's going on with the Cape values as you go into tomorrow. And then all day tomorrow it's going to be rough and rumbling for Texas, for western Louisiana. Then it's going to track towards Louisiana as the evening goes along into New Year's Eve. Now New Year's morning, New Year's Eve, New Year's night, this is what y'all going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at severe thunderstorms. You're looking at a lot of energy in there for tornadoes. And then as it tracks across, look how high up it reaches. It reaches very high in Alabama, very high in Mississippi with these values. And the moisture is there as well. The cold front does come down, but not before this fills with moisture and dew point. Now, when it goes to the northeast, these values have gone down from a 4 out of 10 down to a 1 and 2 out of 10, but it still have a chance. But you can see as it passes northern Georgia, these kind of fluctuate into smaller patterns, and it's not so much of a big problem no more. You still have a couple spurts here and there as you go into Saturday on the 2nd, but it's still going to be an issue. All them little spurts right there could be a problem with tornadic activity because this whole section, and I'm talking this whole section from central North Carolina all the way down to Florida is in the 5% now. So that part did change. Now let me show you what I'm talking about with this here. This is your front. This is your cold front coming down, and these are your winds that you see with these arrows. And these winds are shooting to the south from the north, and then you have convective air moving up from the Gulf of Mexico, shooting north from the south. So where these arrows are meeting on this line, where it's shooting down and shooting up with this cold front moving through, this is where you're getting your convective energy, along with the warm, moist dew point coming from the Gulf. So that really the tornado probabilities can go all the way up to the edge of this cold front, guys, all the way up to the edge of these storms. And right here is where we had these tornadoes, and this is actually tomorrow's Torcon. Let me take these off for you, and you can see how over here in South Carolina, how the cold front is starting to get in there with some cold temperatures, and you are running into some colder temperatures for South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia as well as the system does move down. Now, now if you go by, just give me 1 second, let me get you exactly what I want to show you. If you go by exactly with these Torcons that you will be having. And today is really for Texas. You can see that through Texas, these torcons are down here. We put it on tornado. It is a 2% chance, and it's going all the way around Houston. And these energies are bringing it all the way up. I'm gonna leave these arrows on so you can see where it meets up with the down from the north, the up from the south, and those hitting each other is what creates that rotation. It creates that spin. Now, the reason why I said it this looks like tomorrow's is because you see the rain amount that we're in for precipitation and the heavy amounts for the thunderstorms. But as we get into tomorrow, this is the heavy rainfall in the green. And in between this green and this yellow is actually a 2 out of 10 Torcon that we have. This yellow is a 3 out of 10. And this enhanced area for Louisiana is orange is a 4 out of 10 chance for tornadoes. So y'all really have the best chance going through tomorrow, going into New Year's for this issue that y'all will be having. And that is some very serious problems. And as you go into day three, when you go towards the southeast, you see the heavy rainfall amounts that is expected, and it is heavier from North Carolina down to Florida. And in fact, they are expecting a 5% chance of tornadoes in this whole entire area. So that is a pretty big deal, guys. But this is the weather that you have. This is the winds that you have. This is everything going live right now. All the orange is winter storm watches. All the brown is a winter storm warnings, and you have the winter storm watch also for Pennsylvania, as well as some cold air precipitation, some freezing rain that will be happening for New York, and you got some flooding for North Carolina and in South Carolina as well. Now, don't run off real quick before you leave. I don't know if you've ever been here before, but I like to read the Bible every day to my people. We must keep the Lord's word in our heart and in our minds every day. Amen. So I'd like to read with y'all. It's really close to my heart. Matter of fact, I read it once before, and y'all probably heard me read it. And I think it's really good to know it, and you should really live by it. So give me 1 second, give me your ear. I do appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. Thank you again. Romans 12. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are in one body in Christ, and every one members one of another. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity, he that ruleth with diligence, he that sheweth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and not curse. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one towards another. Mind not high things, but condense to men of low state. Be not wise in your own conceits. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but be overcome evil of good. Amen. Bless you all tonight. I hope you have a great night tonight. I appreciate you watching the video. I will see you in the morning. All glory does go to God. Amen.